All right, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I have a snowblower, but not any snowblower, a free snowblower. And you know what that means? Usually there's something wrong with them when they're just, tossed out for free. So this one, if we just, give it a pull, nothing happens. So I already went ahead and pulled a few screws out and pulled the spark plug out, which definitely looks used. Now to try and free up the motor, it's best to try and lubricate it with some penetrating oil or something. I've always heard that transmission fluid works really good, so I got some transmission fluid right here, and I'm just gonna try some of that in there and pretty much just fill up the cylinder and let it sit. And then because what happens when motors sit, moisture builds up in there and then it kind of rusts up on the inside, and then the piston gets seized in there and you won't be able to pull it over. So you got to try and lubricate it free, and hopefully I can get something that works and frees it up. So I'm going to start with trying some transmission fluid and probably just let it sit in there overnight and see if I can't get it freed up by working the cord loose. Sometimes, like, if your motor, if you can access it and it has like a flywheel or something, or you can get to the end of the crank, and then you can kind of work it free with that. But this one's just got a pull cord because it's just a little baby motor in there. So I just gotta hope that the rope doesn't break, and that's pretty much my only way, because this thing looks like it's pretty much just not meant to come apart. At least I don't see any other easily accessible screws. So I'm gonna hope that this works. Otherwise, best thing about it is it's free. So if it doesn't end up working, then you can just scrap it. So I'm gonna get some fluid in there and get back to you guys. All right, guys, so I got the funnel all propped up right here, and as you can see, it is going into the top of the cylinder, and now I'm just gonna put some fluid in it. So let's open up our fluid here and get to pouring. Now you probably just want to do I don't know, we're just gonna guess here actually, a good bit. But if you actually free it up, I guess you don't want too much in there. So we'll try that and just let that sit and see if it starts working itself loose. All right, guys, so it is now the next night, and I actually took another look at it and thought about it a little bit more. And I started looking around. My original idea was to see if obviously I was thinking the plastics have to come off somehow. And then I noticed right here, and this is the drive belt side, and I noticed this top pulley right there, how it connects directly to the crankshaft. Sorry, I don't really have a good way to show it, but you can see, yeah, right in there, which there's the motor. So it's like, well, that's all you need to be able to, apply some, pressure to try and spin it over. Anyways, so I grabbed this pliers and I started working it free, and honestly it didn't take that much. I could just do it with one arm, and then I had to hold it with the other, and I worked it free. And as you can see, some tranny fluids draining out of it, which is some good lubricant. But you definitely want to pull it over nice and easy, just so that you can push that out so you don't hydro lock it. And then you can see now it pulls nicely. Now I don't know if it's gonna have any compression or not, so that's the next step. You gotta test for compression, and then I guess then you could see if it starts. You could also try putting a little bit of fuel in the top, and that would also help it start and run. So I guess now to get it to start. All right, guys, so it actually looks like it's gonna be pretty hard to get a compression tester in there, and I just pulled it over a few more times just to get, you can see how dirty it is. That's because there was moisture and it was kind of rusted up on the inside. But the transmission fluid's supposed to, you know, help lubricate it and you know, clean up the cylinder. But I think I'm just gonna try and get the spark plug back in it and see if I get lucky, because I pulled it over a few times with the fuel on and it sounds like it's working. So you know what, I'm just gonna see what happens. So I'm gonna get the spark plug in and give it a few pulls. All right guys, so I'm gonna make sure that the key is on. Definitely want the choke on. And then this is just the primer. There's a little bit of fuel in it. I'm hoping that it would be enough. Yep, it's actually spraying out a little bit of fuel. So that should be all good. Now let's just see what happens. I'd be shocked if it started. Nothing. Guys, I wasn't even recording because I didn't even expect it to start, but I pressed the primer bulb a few more times and I just pulled it and it actually runs. Hey, let me just start it one more time for you guys. And sorry, the furnace is about to run. That's that background noise, but that's really smoky, but it actually runs. But I don't know if the auger part's gonna work on it or not, so I'll have to look into that because it doesn't seem like it's gonna engage. All right guys, so I actually got the plastics fully on now, and I looked on the side and the belt's actually, like the tensioner's actually working, and this feels way better now. You can actually see the spring moving. So I guess I'm gonna go test it out outside and see if it actually works, because we just got like 4 or 6 inches of snow today, so it's a perfect time to test it. So I'll update you guys with how it goes. All right guys, so I just had it outside, and it'll run if you're very like finicky with the choke. Other than that, it'll just die, and it actually leaks fuel, so definitely gonna have to go through the carburetor, clean that all up, and then it probably should run just fine. But I mean, it runs, so I mean, you know, you can't really ask for more. I mean, this thing was free, so just having it run is a win. But I'll look into it some more, and I actually had it running good enough to actually test out the auger on it, and it actually moved a little bit of snow before it died. So I'm gonna take a look at the carburetor and see how bad that is, and see if I can't get it all cleaned up and sealed and fix that gas leak while I'm at it, and give it another go. All right guys, so I looked into it a little bit closer and I got the cover pulled off of it. So what you gotta do is you gotta take the bolts out for the chute, which are these 3 right here, and then there was 2 screws going in underneath this, and then the 2 bolts on the top, and then 3 at the back, and then the cover just pulls right off. And so now I can see what I'm working with. So I didn't even exactly realize it before, but this thing has electric start, and it looks like it takes like a special cord, and it runs the starter or something like that. I don't know, I'm not familiar with snowblowers that much, but there's the carburetor right there. It looks like just 2 bolts holding it on, and then I can pull that apart and clean it, and then I gotta try and get it sealed up because that back gasket's leaking fuel. And this connection over here is the line that goes from the tank, and it looks wet, but if I put my finger on the bottom of the hose right there, the finger is still dry, so it must not be leaking that bad, even though it looks like it's wet in there. So I'm just gonna focus on the carburetor for now, because I can see how wet that gasket is, so it's probably just got all dried up and it's just not sealing anymore. So I'm gonna get that off and get back to you guys. All right guys, so I got the carburetor all taken apart here, and there's actually quite a few little pieces going on to it, but it's all stripped down now, and got everything out of it, and it's time to clean it. And yeah, it is, you know, dirty, that's for sure. So I'm gonna get it cleaned and I'll get back to you guys. All right guys, and just like that, I have it all put back together, and hopefully it'll work now. I just used some brake cleaner and spread it all out, and made sure everything looked nice and clean. And I guess tomorrow we will give this a try and see if it did anything. All right guys, it is the next night now, and I've already been working on this thing for a little bit here. And my first problem was the two fuel lines right in there, as you guys can see right there. They were dried out, so I had to get them all resealed up. So now it doesn't leak fuel at all, or you know, that I've noticed. Everything is dry, and still doesn't really run right. So I figured it's either gonna be like the fuel pump part of the carburetor, or I was just gonna give it a quick compression test. So let's just see how the compression is. Well, there's no spark plug, so I don't gotta worry about it starting. And it is 68, so probably a little weak. All right guys, so sorry about that, the fan kicked in there, but I did one more test and I got 69 compression. And I actually looked it up here on how much PSI a snow blower should have, and I might just screenshot it and add it so you guys can see it. But it says it'll have like 90, and you know, like pretty much brand new condition, but manufacturers say that it'll run off of like 50 to 60 PSI. So I mean, I don't know if it's fine or not, but I mean, it should still be able to work. So yeah, I think it's probably a fuel issue that it's having, and it might need some new carburetor gaskets for the fuel pump. So I don't know, I might keep messing with it, or I might just yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I'll get back to you guys. All right guys, a little update for you. I got it hooked up with an extension cord, and the electric start actually works. And then I'll just rev up and then kind of just die. So I don't think the fuel pump's working in the carburetor because it doesn't want to stay running. So I gotta figure that out. All right guys, back here, and it's another night of working on the snowblower. So I got the carburetor all taken apart, and I actually found a rebuild kit for the carburetor in town here. So I'm getting it rebuilt right now, and hopefully this fixes it all. So looking at all the gaskets I have here now, I feel like, I mean, you know, this should be the kit for it. So I mean, I feel like it was just missing a few gaskets from before, so maybe it was messed with and then they just didn't get them all back in for some reason. But I got a new needle for it and everything, so I'm gonna get all this put in it. I even got some new screens. There's one, I already got this one in, and see if it runs. All right guys, so because I kind of figured I was missing gaskets, I found a diagram and pulled it up, and already I can see that there's supposed to be a gasket right here before this little plate even goes on. So that's definitely why this thing wasn't running right. So I'm gonna make sure it gets put back together correctly this time, and hopefully it runs just fine with no problems. So I'll catch you guys when I'm putting it back on. right, well, it was running a lot better that time. So I'm gonna see if I can't get her throwing snow again. All right, so you guys just saw it running, and seemed like it was running a lot better. So I think I'm just gonna throw the top on it and go see if I can go move some snow with it. So I'll let you guys know how it goes. All right, guys, so this thing is a ripper now. As you can see by the snow on it, I just had to clear off the sidewalk, and yeah, it did it no problem. Probably could be, you know, running a hair better, but I mean, it's good enough to throw snow. So I mean, that's all that really matters. I got a slight little leak out the primer bulb, so I'll have to, you know, get that fixed. But then I'm probably gonna sell it before winter's over, and you know, bring it, give it to a new home. So once that's fixed, then I'm probably just gonna sell it and you know, move on to the next project. So hope that you guys have enjoyed. I know that this is, you know, something a little different than, you know, we're used to on the channel, but you know, I figured, you know, it ended up in my hands, might as well fix it up, and you know, hopefully teach you guys a thing or two. And with that being said, I hope that you guys liked me fixing this thing up, and I will catch you in the next video.